Hi everybody, Dottie here from Premium Websites and Ask Dottie. And today I wanted to talk about something coming up that'll be huge in May, but we have the opportunity to get ready for it right now so that our websites can perform well. And that is the next big Google update. They have announced it, which is rare. They don't usually do that. But they announced that the next big update is going to take into consideration user experience and everything that's involved with user experience, like load times, whether content shifts, things like that. So I wanted to just kind of talk to you about this today and let you know that there are things that you can do to your site, or there are things that you can hire out and have done to your site if you don't want to do it, that will make your site perform better once this update actually hits. And again, that's supposed to be in May. So there's a thing called Core Web Vitals, and it's a way to measure the performance of your website against some standards. And so today I'm going to talk about 3 of those things and just give you some quick ideas on things that you can do to improve what you're doing on your site. So the first one is called LCP, or Largest Contentful Paint. And what that means is the largest item that is going to load within the viewport of your website, how long does that take to load? So for somebody running a website that has like the big hero images at the top, that's going to be that large image. If you don't have that, it might be a web form. You know, it could be all kinds of different things. And there's actually tools that Google provides that will tell you exactly what it is on your website. So for my website, it is a large image that loads at the top. So how do you handle making that faster? So there's a few things that I did. First, on all images on my site, I run them through a program called JPEG Mini that I purchased a long time ago. And I do that on my computer before I ever upload these images. And that compresses the images and makes them smaller without actually degrading how they view on a website for a viewer. So it's called JPEG Mini. You can get it yourself. I want to say it's about 25 bucks, something like that. But it only works on JPEGs, not PNGs or other types of images. So JPEG Mini. Then I have an image compression plugin on my WordPress website that I have all of my images go through as well. And for the specific image that loads on my homepage, I preload that image. So that's some things that you can do to get your images to go faster, which would help your largest contentful paint measurement. And Google is saying that it needs to be under 2.5 seconds for that. And again, the lower, the better as far as that goes. The next one is called FID, and that stands for First Input Delay. So what does that really mean? It means how long your site takes to react to an interaction from a user. So that could be you have a button that loads, the user clicks the button, and there's a pause before the button goes to, actually does whatever that button's supposed to do. That pause is what it's measuring. So how do you get rid of that? I'm here to tell you, if you're on GoDaddy's old hosting, old shared hosting, you've had it for years, get rid of it. That's going to be the biggest thing you can do if you're on that hosting account. Hosting plays a huge part in this specific measurement. So you want to be on a server that is running 7.0 or higher PHP, and you want to make sure that your website is taking advantage of that. The old GoDaddy servers max out at 5.6 and you cannot upgrade. on that server. You have to pay for one of their new plans or get a different host or whatever. And I'm sure that there's other platforms out there, hosting platforms, that max out at 5.6. I don't know why they haven't updated them. It's ridiculous. It's years old now. But you want to be on 7.0 or higher. Mine is running at 7.4. So make sure that you're running current hosting. If you're in a shared hosting environment of any kind, I would get out of that. It is worth spending a little bit more on hosting so that you're not suffering your website rankings just because you cheaped out on hosting. And so that's one of the huge things that you can do for this specific measurement. There's a lot of things you can do, but a lot of them come down to you have to have a developer to do them. So as far as things that you can do, get a quality hosting account. The last one is something that we're really mostly in control of, and that is called CLS, or Cumulative Layout Shift. What does that mean? And this is really one of the big things with user experience. So have you ever gone to a website and a button loaded and you wanted whatever that button was, you clicked on it, and then right when you clicked, an ad loaded and you went to that ad instead? That is a really poor user experience and a very good example of what this layout shift does. So if you have a website that loads and things move around left, right, up, down as it loads, that's what you're going to get penalized for. So you want that to be 0. I actually redid my entire website in this last few months and have removed everything that shifts. So I do have a 0 on that score. So things that you can do. If you're using images, make sure that you're specifying the dimensions of that image in your code. So if you don't, you leave it up to the browser, and the browser will simply know that there's an image. It puts whatever text, and then when the image loads, which is usually after the text, it will then hold that spot, or it'll fill that spot, and it pushes your text down or up depending on where it is relative to that image. That is a shift. You don't want that. You can prevent that from happening by telling the browser the size of your image ahead of time, and then it will reserve that spot and it'll load the text right where it's supposed to be in relation to that size. And then when the image loads, it just pops in. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do is remove anything that shifts. So what is that? That could be a slider. Sliders are moving. It's been proven for a long, long time now, nobody sees beyond the first picture except for the owner of the website. So there's no point in having a slider. They're only going to see the first image anyway, or the first slide anyway, so get rid of the rest. That will also help your mobile load time greatly by getting rid of that slider. Other things that I've seen people do, and that I actually did and have removed from my site, and that is those testimonial sliders. The trick to those is all of your testimonials have to be the same length. They can't shift, or most people put just the testimonial in there, and there are various lengths, and then when it slides, your content shifts up and down to fit that content at that time, and then when it slides, it shifts again. So get rid of that slider. If you want to have more than one testimonial or review on your page, which I highly encourage, put them as static instead of moving, so you can stack them. You can stack them this way. You can do all kinds of different things. Get rid of the slider. Get rid of anything on your website that actually causes your content to move up and down. And you're going to love the result after that. Believe me. And you know what? It's more modern design, and it's all based on user experience. So this whole update is based on user experience. Just mentioning user experience, here's another huge one. Pop-ups. Get rid of them. If you are running a pop-up, it is a bad user experience because I know you're saying, oh, but I really want somebody to sign up for this. I want them to notice it. I want this. I want that. Forget it. It's the user experience. So what does that mean? When a user comes to a website, they are looking for information on whatever they were searching for. And when they get there, and this happens to me all the time, it really pisses me off, is I'm reading, I'm getting the answer, and then bam, it pops up in front of me, and now I can't do anything. And it makes me mad, and I just X out of it. And what makes me even more mad is if I'm on my laptop, a lot of times I can't X out of it, and I have to actually close the whole page. Horrible user experience. And now, well, in May, supposedly, we're actually going to be graded on our user experience. So if you've got a pop-up on there, get rid of it. It is going to hurt you more than it is going to help you. So I'm going to be researching this, keeping on top of it, putting changes on my sites, helping my clients with the changes that they want to make before this comes out so that my site is ready and will perform well in this next huge Google update. If you want to keep informed of all of this type of stuff, go ahead and subscribe to Premium Websites page. And this is where I will be posting all of these updates as I learn about them and have implemented them and have ideas for you to implement them on your sites. Have a great day.